Want to know exactly how much to save in your 20s to become a millionaire? I'm going through the math with you today. Hey there, my name is Jen. I'm the creator of Modern Frugality, and I love helping people save money, earn more, and do good things with your money. And one of the biggest things I love helping people with is growing wealth. There is a huge wealth gap between the super rich and the middle class, and I want us to stop spending all of our hard-earned money on stuff and start using it to make more money. We can be growing passive income in our sleeps just by investing. And so if you are in your 20s, this video is for you because I'm going to show you exactly how much you need to invest every single month to become a millionaire. So for the purposes of this video, because there's a lot of different things that we could talk about, we are not talking about building a business that makes you a millionaire, because that can do it and usually does it faster than investing. But today we are talking specifically about investing. And so in these calculations, I'm going to be talking specifically about an index fund that grows at 7%. People use between 7 and 8%. The S&P 500 grows around 8%, but I like to use 7 for calculations like this because usually you're using a diversified portfolio, not just an S&P 500 index fund. And this accounts for recessions and inflation, so it's just a little bit more accurate. And so $1 million will actually be $1 million in spending money by the end. So we account for inflation in the 7%. And let's talk about one more thing where you should invest this money. So I love the Roth IRA because you have control over it. You can build that low-fee diversified portfolio. You can choose the S&P 500 index fund or ETF if you want. But for some of these calculations, you are going to have to invest more than what a Roth IRA would allow. And so after that, I recommend going with your employer-sponsored plan. So whether that's a 401k, 403b, 457, whatever. But sometimes those plans can be a little higher in fee and have more limited options. So that's why I say put as much in the Roth IRA as possible and then go on after that to whatever your employer-sponsored plan is. If you don't have a Roth IRA, I like Fidelity or Vanguard, but I really love M1 Finance for their expert pies, they call them. They're just diversified portfolios that are assembled for you. You don't have to worry about which funds are there. It auto rebalances. And you also don't have to worry about putting money over there and just having it sit. It will invest it for you. A lot of people make the mistake of putting money into Vanguard or Fidelity and then forgetting to invest it or not knowing what to invest in, and it just sits there and it doesn't grow. So if you are scared of doing that, I highly recommend M1 Finance. There's no advisory fee, and all of the ETFs they use are very affordable. So it's a great option if you don't yet have a Roth IRA, and I will link to it in the description. So without further ado, let me pull out my whiteboard and let me show you the numbers. All right, let's take this to the whiteboard to see how much you need to save in your 20s to become a millionaire. So I will pick up my markers on the floor and let's look. Let's say you start at 20. Don't stress if you are not starting at 20. So we'll just put 20 up here. So if you're starting at 20, then you have a 40-year time horizon to become a millionaire by 60. So you need to invest $405 per month. So $405 per month for 40 years. Don't stress if that sounds like a lot. We'll clear it up by the end. So if you do that, your total investment over 40 years is actually just $194,000. And that is going to turn into $1 million by the time you're 60. But let's say you start at 25. So we'll put 25 up there. Then you have a 35-year time horizon. For that, you're going to need to invest $585 per month. So we'll get that up there. All right. And if you do that, your total investment is going to be $245,000. And that is going to grow to $1 million by the time you're 60 if you start when you're 25. All right, now let's say you start when you're 29. So that gives you a 31-year. So for that, you're going to need to invest $792 per month. So that's quite a bit to become a millionaire. But you'll end up with $1 million, but you will only have put in $294,000. So if somebody was like, if you put in $792 per month into a machine, I will give you $1 million, I would do that because that's less than $300,000 and I make $700,000. But you can see that just starting 9 years later means you are putting in over $100,000 more of your own money to end up in the same place. If you are not in your 20s, do not worry about not becoming a millionaire. Because honestly, if you just max out a Roth IRA for 37 years, that should get you to millionaire status, regardless of when you start. Obviously, the earlier you start, the better, but then you'll only put in $222,000 and you've still got $1 million at the end of it. So don't worry if you're not in your 20s. But I just want to show you these numbers because starting early really does make a difference. The earlier you start, the less money you have to invest overall in your life. So even if you can't do $405 per month, do something. Do $100 per month. I like to say if you can start with $100 for 1 year and then increase that to $200 for 2 years and then just keep going until you can max out a Roth IRA and then do that consistently, you're still probably going to hit millionaire status. It'll take you a smidge longer, but you will still get there. So start early and invest often. That's the moral of the story. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, hit the like button and subscribe for more. And I will see you next week, maybe on the couch, maybe not. We'll see.